Have you noticed all the cranes popping up in downtown Victoria? 2026 is shaping to be a rental tower boom year here in Victoria. And today, I'm going to break down what it means for renters, investors, and condo buyers, and why this boom isn't what it seems at first glance. Now, downtown Victoria is obviously adding hundreds of new purpose-built rental units as we head into 2026 and then more in 2027. And on paper, this looks like really good news for renters. But the reality is a bit more nuanced than that. Investors are watching pretty closely, and some units are already pre-leased before completion, which speaks to the active rental market we have here in Victoria. Most of these new builds are mid-rise wood frame or hybrid construction type builds, more so under the 14-story mark, but there's definitely a significant high-rise product supply coming, especially in the downtown Harris Green area. This new supply of rentals, it's really backed by the CMHC financing programs that were in place that incentivized all this rental development, and really the instability of the pre-sale condo market, which we've seen over the last couple of years here in Victoria and other markets across Canada. Developers are building pretty quickly to meet the demand, but rising construction costs and new building codes are definitely squeezing the margins. Some buildings are offering below market pre-leases, but stabilized rents will likely be higher once they're fully operational. So this is creating a bit of a tug of war between affordability and profitability so a developer can actually build it. More supply can obviously ease pressure in the rental market, but a lot of these new builds are more so on the luxury or higher quality end and not necessarily are going to be cheap options. And that's really because the only way for it to be profitable for a developer is they have to hit certain rental targets or the whole project doesn't work and it doesn't pencil out. Likely, we're going to see a pretty long extended period before this new product stabilizes and rates become more realistic, more in line with the current product that we already have available. Location is definitely going to matter. Some areas are going to see pretty high vacancy rates, while prime blocks will remain pretty competitive. So think areas probably closer to the water, let's say Fairfield or James Bay, for example. I would imagine they're still going to be quite competitive, but areas more inland, we could see some pretty high vacancy rates, and those rates will climb very fast as this new supply comes online. So investors can benefit from strong absorption and high demand, but they really must account for these high construction costs, financing, and potential delays, which are pretty common with residential builds. And unfortunately, the cost of construction just keeps going up. And there's still a lot of municipal red tape. Even the government has said that they're trying to slash that and make it easier for development, but we haven't seen that into practice yet. New rental towers are also affecting older stock. Older buildings may see slower turnover and maybe a bit more of a pressure to renovate and replicate that new modern feel that we're seeing out of this new supply that's coming. For investors of single family homes that include a suite, or let's say a small time investor with a triplex or maybe a fourplex or something like that, there is still a competitive advantage which should help mitigate rental declines and increasing vacancy rates. That includes adding a yard space or having a space outside for tenants to use. Ground-oriented access, obviously, and then also doing things like allowing pets can kind of help you stand out. Understanding micro markets, downtown especially, is going to be very key. Unfortunately, not all streets are really going to perform the same with this new supply coming. So this is a pretty exciting time for the rental market with much needed supply cooling rental rates. We've been talking about this forever now, and it's really been the crux of this whole housing crisis. But buyers, renters, investors, we all really need to understand the realities behind this boom. If you want more insider updates on Victoria's rental market, tips for investors, and the best units to watch, hit subscribe. Or if you want to discuss this topic a little bit further, feel free to drop a comment. I'll always get back to you, and we'll have a conversation about specific areas here in Victoria. Thank you.